Hello, I'm Mike from Mad Spanner, and this will be a guitar playthrough, or rhythm guitar playthrough, off the song Wrongshade. If you can play this, you could probably play every other Mad Spanner song. It's got a nice mix between schmallow, shredding, and a bit of the noodles, so it's got a bit of everything. I'm gonna try and aim this to be for the sort of beginner to intermediate player. So if you already know how to, picking techniques and scales, that's all fine. But I'm going to basically assume that you don't already know these things. So I'm going to try and play this as simply as I can and explain everything for you. On the other hand, though, I don't actually know anything about music theory as much. So if you know anything that I could be doing better or anything like that, I'm all ears. Please comment and let me know. So, the first thing about the song Wrongshade is that it's got a very simple intro. So it'll just go. Very, very simple. Just on the 3 fret and then on 12. One of the things to keep in mind there is to probably practice the double triplet. You could do it quite more simply by alternating down, up, down, and then up, down, up. That's how Slayer do it on Rain and Blood. But with practice, because this is a much more down-strikey kind of moment, like with the chords, it would be more downstrokes. They just sound a little bit more powerful, like the Ramones. Ramones did all their chords, the downstrokes, not upstrokes. In a similar way, like those 3 notes just sound a lot more impactful when they're downstrokes. So do whatever most comfortable, but that's the only bit of that part that needs to. That you need to keep in mind of. Then it'll go into the main part of the song, which would be, and the whole that turns up to the whole entire song. 3-2-0-2-0. 5 notes. You could just practice that one part, and then you could try different rhythms in between. Because this song's going to use a lot of the right hand, or your picking hand, and I'll elaborate on that once we get to it. But this one, it's mostly just singles and triplets, because it'll go into the triplet, 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 triplet. So da 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 da. Yeah, same notes. It'll be intuitive when you play. Slide up to 12, and then 0. Big load of noise as you go into the main crux of the song. So second part, you got probably the most challenging part in terms of picking speed, because you want to make sure that the notes on this. Yeah, you want to make sure that each of these notes sounds out. You don't want a lot of string noise in between. So the notes are 3, 2, 3, 5, 3. Da 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 da. Followed by. So if you practice that first. Then you're already pretty much there. The other part is the picking, which would just be this pretty much constantly. So there's a couple of things. If you're playing bass, then you've got different ways of playing. You can play with your fingers. I'm not playing with my fingers, so I can't really demonstrate how to do that. But I can say, in terms of picking, I would advise not using the giant bass triangular picks, because they're very good for plodding, mid-tempo riffs, but they're not very good for tremolos on the bass. What you're looking for is like a guitar pick, a large guitar pick. Let's see if I can get that in the light, like that. I've got tons of these, and what you're looking for is just a little bit of give. Some bend, so you're not getting as much resistance when you're picking, and therefore you're not going to feel it as much on your forearm as much. This just means that you're starting to just fly across. And what you want to do is you want to just have just a little bit of the pick to the to your knuckle, and then slightly tilt like that. If you hold it any other way, it's a bit flimsy. You're more likely to drop the pick. But here, just like that, just slightly out your knuckle like that. This does mean that when playing live, you could also scrape your knuckles, but I'd kind of rather that than actually dropping the pick. So then you mix the two together. So you're looking for four notes between everything. So you can slow that down if you're having difficulty. You can slow that down with a metronome and always alternate pick. And then until you get to this bit where it'll be downstrokes. Da, 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 da. Play that over and over. And then speed the metronome up slowly, bit by bit, slow to medium, and then to fast, where you then begin to play these notes very clearly. You want to make sure that you let go of the note before the next pick thing, so that you're playing every single note as is, so that they don't bleed into each other, like so. And there you have it. Now, one last thing on this thing, because I forgot, is that you end on the with the rhythm guitar. It'll go 7, 8, 5. Well, on the bass, you're doing a bit of tremolo on 0, and you slide with the second string. Slide 7, 8, 7. Slide 7, 8, 7, and you're walking back down 8, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6, 5. Followed by the like so. That's going to take some practice. Then we're going into the chorus. There's two different ways you can play this, depending on what instrument you're playing. If you're playing the rhythm, the chorus will go on 3 and 7. So my rhythm would be da 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 digga 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 da 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 digga digga digga. But you can play it as you want. This is the most punky part of the thing, so whatever you're feeling in a rhythm perspective, you can pretty much do whatever on that point, but it goes from 3 to 7. Then it'll go 3 0, like a 3 3 0. 3 3 0, 3 3 3 0, 3 3 3 0. And then you'll slide over to 7 8, like da 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 da. Back to the, so it'll sound like this. And that'll be the chorus on the rhythm guitar. Now, as for the bass, you're going to be running some scales. Now with this, I visualize it in blocks, like patterns. So between 3 and 5, you've got these 2 dots, and between 7 and 9, you've got these 2 dots. They're like squares, right? So you've got square here and a square here. You've got to be running notes back and forth down that scale, and then up to here. Apparently it's a blues scale, I've got no clue. So it'll go from 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and then on the last part, you're ignoring 4 over here. You're just going to go 3, 5, 3, but it's going to be 5 notes. Now, if you want to simplify it, you can just go. But once you get comfortable, you can then start doing the. That is a nice little flair because it goes over the rhythm guitars. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slide over to. So 3, once you go back down to 3. And when you hit 3, you slide over to 7. It's the next part. Now the last bar in this phrase will go over to 7, 8 like this. So you end it on the 7, 8 like that. Da, 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 da. And don't forget to always hit that 5th note because that will link these notes, that note, back to the nice and fluid. So you've got the verse and you've got the chorus. Now we've got the solo rhythms. So before that, we've got the what Dan would call the Metallica riff. It'll just go. It's 1. It's basically 1. You can just add the other note. How many notes is that? You can slow that down, but that's actually a really good thing to practice if you're new to tremolo picking. It's just actually focusing on the odd numbered. It's like 3, 5, 7, and things like that. And there's a load of phrases between that before it gets to the solo. Now, the rhythm behind the solo, we do this on the album, but it's never been done live because we've only got 2 musicians with us, playing guitar. You just got tremolo and 3/2. So when the solo comes in, it'll sound like this. And then on 7, you're going just playing the 2 strings, string, like. It's a bit dissonant because you're playing in drop D. But when you're playing fast, you could almost get away with it because it sounds a little bit maddening in a way. So it's bad musical theory, but I think it works with the song. So I'm going to let myself slightly off the hook there. So once you got that, making sure that you hang on the 3/2. The solo, which is what the guitar and the bass usually does, it'll start on 9 and 12. Now, you want to make sure that your fingers are all accounted for from index, middle, and pinky. You're going from 9 on your pinky on 12, with your index on 10. So 9, 10, 12. These are your notes. So if you tremolo on 9, that's the sort of speed. And then with the index, now you really want to practice that first because until because what you're probably going to do at first is sort of fumble and you're going to have the notes bleed into each other, sort of like and you kind of. I'm too used to it now, but as long as you can get that 9-10 nice and sharp like that, then you're on to the next part where you're going to be alternating between your index and your pinky on the 1 2 3 1 2 3. Every fourth note will be on the every fourth beat. It's very rhythmic. It goes in a set rhythm, so it'll go like this. You can do this to a metronome as well. This also helps. And once you got that down, all you're doing is just moving up that same pattern up by 1 fret at a time. 1 2 3 4. Once we get to here, 12 and 15, there's a bit of flair where you go like just 3 notes. Da, 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 da. You'll see it in the demonstration, and then it'll go from 13 over to here. Once you get to here, there's the last 2 parts of that phrase. You got these 3 notes, 15, 17, and 19, and then 17, 19, and 21, where you'll be going. And then a slide down this string and a slide down this string. And that's how you play it. So it's a full demonstration. Threes. Now I change my fingers here because it's easier. And that's how you play the solo. So it'll then go back to the chorus. You know, or if you're playing on the rhythm, which is basically like the root note of what the bass is doing on the scales anyway. Only it goes on 2 beats longer, but you already know the notes. You just play along to the song. Then you got one last verse when it'll go back to the. And then once you get to the outro, we don't know what it means. Life is just a dream. Wrong shade of orange. You're walking those same notes back again. 3 1 2 1 1. That's your rhythm. And that's it. And that's how you play Wrongshade.
You have the brain that just won't shut the fuck up. Take a pill. I fucking think all the time. Sorry. Oh, jeez. You think it's ADD? No, it's not ADD. I'm thinking. Mood stabilizer, antidepressant. I was terrified when my doctor told me that
Wrongshade. You can hear the album Life Absurd on Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, and you can buy some weird merch, such as the pug-faced gun one, as you can see here. You can get that over at Bandcamp as well. Thanks for watching. If you've got any advice or any questions, please comment and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Yeah, enjoy baking in this lockdown. Cheers, goodbye. Bye. Turning off and...